Hi, Wandering Weekenders. So bear with us. This is our first time making a video looking at a camera.
Together.
Together. This is my wife, Brooke. I'm Corey. We wanted to make a video to kind of explain what we have in store for 2018. The main reason we made this channel was to try to capture our memories, and we'll definitely do that. We really don't have any plans on making any money off the channel. I told Brooke if we ever made a dime off of it, I would pass out, and that still holds true for sure. But we wanted also to try to get in all of the Georgia state parks. So we have several state parks. We'll leave that in the description. But we try to get all of the Georgia state parks in the next 2 to 3 years. We certainly can't do it this year. There's just way too many. We both have full-time jobs. We're not full-time RVers, so we won't be able to do that in 1 year. But certainly in the next 2 to 3 years, especially as the children get a little older, I definitely think we can grab most of them. We also want to hit up some Florida state parks, which we've got that in store this year a little bit. And so far this year, we've done High Falls State Park, which there's a video. We made a video on that one. We'll leave that in the description. And also Hard Labor Creek State Park, which is kind of our home park, I guess you could say. It's only about 30 minutes away, and we'll leave that link in the description as well. Our next trip is coming up in a few weeks to A.H. Stevens State Park. We've never been there. I think A.H. Stevens was either the vice president or the secretary of state for the Confederacy. You'll learn that in the next video when we visit A.H. Stevens. But he was in the Confederate Army back in the Civil War. It's about halfway between our hometown, which is Monroe, Georgia, and Augusta. So that should be fun. You want to tell them what we got coming up in April?
Sure. In April, we're so excited to go back to one of our favorite state parks, which is beautiful Moccasin Creek State Park, and it is up near Lake Burton. And it's beautiful. We can see the mountains. There's a beautiful lake view. The actual park is right up against the lake. So the kids love the playground because it's really just a beautiful view. It's easy for them to ride bikes around the park, and we generally hike over to Hemlock Falls, which is a short 1 mile in, 1 mile out hike. Townley does a great job. As a 5-year-old hiking, she can do it all by herself. And Corey usually carries Beckett, so we'll see this year. It may be a little too heavy, but we're excited to go back to Moccasin Creek for sure. And we love Clayton, which is just up the road from Moccasin Creek.
Love Clayton.
It's one of our favorite mountain towns, so we'll be visiting Clayton plenty during this trip.
Also in April is the Bear on the Square Festival up in Dahlonega.
Oh, true.
We don't always camp for that. We may try to this year, but we don't always camp for that. But we'll definitely try to make it this year. Bear on the Square. It's a mountain music festival, so a lot of banjos, a lot of fiddles, all that kind of good stuff, and then arts and crafts as well. It's a lot of fun. The first half of May, we're going to Watson Mill State Park, which is east of Athens, Georgia. It's probably going to be about an hour drive for us, which is fairly close. We haven't been to Watson Mill, so that'll be another one we get to check off. Watson Mill, I think it's Watson Mill Covered Bridge State Park, actually.
Okay.
The covered bridge is over 200 feet long. It's the longest one remaining in Georgia, and I think there's only 20 or so remaining covered bridges in all of Georgia, and this is the biggest one. There's also a nice little shoal out there, so hopefully the kids can get out and play a little bit in the river.
Yeah, we're hoping for nice weather that trip. Later in May, we're actually taking my kind of belated 35th birthday trip out to wine country in Oregon, and we're so excited because we've been testing out some Oregon Pinot Noirs, getting ready for our trip. So Corey surprised me last night, letting me know that we're staying in the Vintages Trailer Resort, is what it's called, and they're a lot of travel trailers from the 1960s, and we're staying in a Shasta. And some of the trailers in the trailer park have actually been, I guess, remodeled or
It's the
updated.
Shasta reissue, yeah.
And then there's some reissues. So we're really excited to check that out. And apparently the views from the resort are beautiful of wine country. So we're pretty excited to go up and check out Oregon. We've never been to Oregon. So.
We're also going to go to, I think, Silver Falls State Park. I think that's the name of it. I'll leave a description below. So we'll have some great video from there. There's 10 waterfalls within an 8-mile hike, and they're not little tiny waterfalls. These are major waterfalls, some of which you can walk behind. So that'll be really awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be some good footage there.
Let's see. Then it's lake season. So we'll be heading up to Lake Lanier where we keep our pontoon, and any beautiful weekend in the summer we'll be out with the kids and friends on the lake. So we're staying at Old Federal Army Corps Campground in June. It's a beautiful campground. We've stayed there before just once, right?
Yes.
Yeah, just once.
Very hard to get reservations.
Almost any site in this campground has a beautiful lake view. So it's one of my favorites because it's pretty flat. easy to get to, and the views are spectacular.
July. So July we take our beach trip. And it's going to be cool for me because this year it will be the first time I get to take my children to the beach I grew up going to, which is Siesta Key Beach down in Sarasota, Florida. So I'm super excited about this. I've never been to a nicer beach. It's not only is it sentimental for me, but the beach really is one of the nicest beaches in the world. The surroundings off of the beach, I've maybe seen some prettier things in the Caribbean, Turks and Caicos, Jamaica. But as far as the beach itself, the sand, the water, it's so hard to beat Siesta Key. Gorgeous beach. We're not camping in Siesta Key. We're staying in a condo down there. But there'll definitely be some videos from Siesta Key.
Then August and September is back to school, back to the real world for the kids. So we're working on our camping plans and our travel plans for those 2 months, but nothing official that we've got booked at this point. So we'll keep you posted once we get those nailed down.
We do a lot of boating in those months. It's just so simple to run up 45, 50 minutes to the dock and hop on the boat for 3, 4, 5 hours and then come on back home. It gets the kids sleeping really good, which is awesome. So October will be our first road trip with our Grand Design 2800 bunkhouse. And we are so excited about it. It's 8 days. We're going to Topsail State Park for 4 nights down in the panhandle of Florida. And then we're going to running over to St. George, which is also in the Panhandle. Both of those are on the beach, so we're excited. They're not on the beach; they're a quarter mile from the beach. You have to walk to the beach, but that we're very excited about that. So we have 4 nights at Topsail State Park, 2 nights at St. George Island State Park, and then on the way back home, we're going to stay 2 more nights, about halfway home, at FDR State Park in Pine Mountain, Georgia / Warm Springs, Georgia.
Right, and there's some fun stuff to do around FDR too.
There is.
It won't be the beach. It'll be beautiful. There's the animal safari and Callaway Gardens, so we may check those out.
Absolutely.
When we are headed back home. In November, we're likely headed up to Tallulah Gorge, which is Townley's favorite campground. It's Tallulah Gorge State Park, and it's, what is it, hour and a half?
Hour and a half, yeah.
It's not far from home, and it's also back up near Clayton, which we mentioned earlier was one of our favorite little towns. So we'll be spending plenty of time in Clayton and hiking down in the gorge and taking in her favorite playground.
Yes. It has this little digger thing. It looks like a excavator. She loves it. And Beckett will love it this year too. So, that'll be fun. And then finally, December. We already got to December. We go to Bryson City, North Carolina. This is an annual trip for us. We do the exact same thing every year. This will be our 4th year doing it, I think. And we ride the Polar Express. So the Polar Express is awesome. Now, if you're 12 and over, it might not be for you. But for the little kids, they do such a great job. It's so much fun. You get the hot chocolate, they do the dancing, you get the cookies, you get the bell, all that fun stuff, the ticket, all that fun stuff that's in the movie. And we go up there for a long weekend. We stay at the Everett Inn. We'll shoot a description in the link below. And we just have a great time. We look forward to it every year. And the Bryson City is really a great town. Probably a very close second to Clayton on our favorite mountain town list.
It is, and it's right on the edge of the Great Smoky Mountain National Park.
That's right.
So the scenery is unbeatable, and there's some really cool stuff to do around that town too. So we have a busy year. We were just talking earlier about how the year's going to fly because there's so much planned. Yeah,
we have full-time jobs, so we're not part-time RVers. Those guys are great. They're fun to watch. But we should be a busy year.
It's going to be busy. We're fascinated by people who can live in their RV. But
that's right.
Our weekends will be busy with RV.
That's right. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, if you want to check us out, if you want to follow us throughout the year, please hit this like button, hit the subscribe button even more importantly, and we'd love to have you. And leave some comments in the comment section. Where would you like to see us go, or where have you been? What are your recommendations? We'd love to know.
That's it.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.